SAH, also known as subarachnoid hemorrhage, is a neurological complication of sickle cell disease. So today I'll be sharing my experience with subarachnoid hemorrhage that happened in 2020. So watch the video and get more information. Thank you.
Welcome to Warriors Inspiration, the #1 channel for sickle cell motivation.
Hello, good day. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Warriors Inspiration. My name is Zurike. I'm a medical student and I'm a warrior. So today we'll be talking about SAH, which is subarachnoid hemorrhage. Please like our video and subscribe to our channel, and after watching the video you can also leave a comment. So what is SAH? SAH is subarachnoid hemorrhage, and subarachnoid hemorrhage in the layman term is a bleeding in the brain that occurs between the brain and the tissue covering the brain. I don't want to go into the medical details of that, but there are layers of tissues that cover the brain, and there's one called the arachnoid matter. So the space between the arachnoid matter and the pia matter, that's where the subarachnoid space is. So when there is a subarachnoid hemorrhage, that's bleeding into that space. Now, there are two types of subarachnoid hemorrhage. One is a traumatic subarachnoid hemorrhage, which can happen probably an accident, a fall, something that gives trauma to the brain, sorry, to the head or to the brain, yes. And then the next type is a spontaneous subarachnoid hemorrhage. I had a spontaneous subarachnoid hemorrhage in 2020. I could describe that as the worst headache I've ever had in my life. And people that have subarachnoid hemorrhages have described that type of headache as the worst type. It's called a thunderclap headache. So I was just sitting down in my room, about to lie down or so, and then it just hit me hard. I was like, what is this? I looked for paracetamol, I chewed PCM to make it faster, but then I started vomiting. So another symptom and presentation of subarachnoid hemorrhage is vomiting. So because the pressure in the brain has increased, it causes one to vomit. So I started vomiting. Thank God for a friend that called at that time, and then he heard my voice wasn't clear on the phone. He came to my room, and then that's how he rushed into the hospital. God was amazing. God saved my life, because there's statistics that at least 25% of people that have subarachnoid hemorrhage die even before reaching the hospital. Yes. So I got to the hospital. I was shouting my head, using the F word. I was in pain, severe pain. I think I lost consciousness, but I don't know. I can't remember what happened next. But after I was in the hospital, the next thing I can remember was that I saw my parents. Yes. So the pain part subsided, I think, after some medical intervention, and the next thing they had me to do was a CT scan. So the diagnosis of subarachnoid hemorrhage is usually through a CT scan or an MRI. So it's a non-contrast CT scan. So I did a CT scan, and then I think that was how they diagnosed it. Now, a spontaneous subarachnoid hemorrhage can occur because of an aneurysm. Okay, an aneurysm, I don't know, maybe probably I'll put a picture of what an aneurysm looks like in this video. It's blood vessel that the layman, I don't know how to say that. The blood vessel bulges. So when this blood vessel ruptures, a rupture of the aneurysm can now lead to the subarachnoid hemorrhage. Yes. So that is that. Now, what are the causes of this subarachnoid hemorrhage? We have causes like smoking. Yes, if you're a smoker, you have a tendency of having subarachnoid hemorrhage. Hypertension. Another thing I want to mention is that don't take supplements that are not recommended by doctors. I was taking a supplement that time that probably rose my blood pressure, so I had hypertension that led to the rupture of the aneurysm. So hypertension can cause it. Family history. If there's a member of a family that have had subarachnoid hemorrhage in the past, then you can probably have one. Or if you have had one in the past, you can have one again. So family history. Then there's also okay, those are the ones I can remember for now. Those are the causes of. There are so many causes of subarachnoid hemorrhage. Those are the ones I can remember for now. So my experience, it was, I don't know how to call it. It was life-threatening. I could remember all I was saying was pray for me, Daddy, pray for me. All my friends that come, I tell them to pray for me. And that was the time when the COVID pandemic just started in the world, and then in Nigeria, our schools were asked to shut down. So school was asked to be closed. So I was about going home on that day when it happened. So what if this happened inside the bus or on my way traveling? It would have been deadly. But I thank God it happened in the teaching hospital where I schooled, and that was how God saved my life. The next thing I would talk about is how can it be treated. It can be treated by a surgical method called clipping and coiling. So they would clip the aneurysm and prevent it from bleeding. But in my case, no surgical intervention was done. I think they just gave me drugs to reduce the pressure in my head, and I just miraculously got better day by day. It was terrible because I had high fever, there was high temperature, there sometimes I was constipated, and there was time I was having diarrhea, but what I want you to take from this video is that don't use supplements that are not recommended by doctors. They say this one helps for sickle cell, this one is good for your genotype, this one helps to ease sickle cell. I don't want to call any of the supplement I took to tarnish the image of the company, but then whatever supplement you're taking, be sure that your doctor, your hematologist, knows about it and recommends it. Next thing I want to say is that you can survive whatever crisis you're going through. I went through severe pain. I was at the verge of dying. When I woke up, my mom told me I had paralysis on one side of my face. I was drooling on one side of my face. I was paralyzed. I was in coma. Or let's say I lost consciousness for days. But I didn't want to give up. I was crying, pray for me. I was in pain. But then I was not ready to let go. So don't give up. Whatever pain you're going through, whatever crisis you're going through, if it's AVN, if it's just a terrible crisis, just know that you can come out of it. You pray to God, you take your drugs, you can come out of whatever crisis you're going through. So another thing I want to talk about is the prognosis and the complications. The complication of subarachnoid hemorrhage includes vasospasm. Vasospasm is when the blood vessels in your brain narrows and then blocks blood flow. That can lead to ischemia and then brain damage, stuff like that. The next thing that can happen is rebleeding. Someone can bleed again. Rebleeding is a complication of subarachnoid hemorrhage. Another complication is okay, I've forgotten the ones I planned to talk about. If I remember it, I'll talk about them. So the prognosis, like I said in the beginning of the video, people tend to die even before they get to the hospital. So people die, about 45% or so die 24 hours after they've gotten to the hospital, or even 48 hours after they've gotten to the hospital. And those that tend to even survive with a neurological complication, a neurological deficit. They have probably paralysis, or they have some form of neurological defect that affects them. So I want you to see me as a living testimony. I came out without any neurological defect. I'm hale and hearty. God has been faithful. So whatever you're going through, you can come out strong. You can come out strong. Thank you for watching this video. Help us subscribe, like, and comment. Thank you.